Hi, this is Mandy from Sunflowers and Doors. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to week 2 of our Stitch in Time collaboration. This is a collaboration between myself and Teri-Lee from Sweet Pea Papers. So if you've already seen the first week, you'll know all about the collaboration. If not, the information will be in the description box below. There is 3 weeks of makes and a catch-up week, and there are freebies to go with each of the makes, so you can play along. So the freebies for this week, against the prompt, which is a spool-shaped tag. That is what we're going to be creating today, a spool-shaped tag. And this is the papers we're going to be playing with. So I am going to be using some old file folder to back these images, and we're going to create a spool-shaped tag. Okay, that's the idea anyway. So I am going to go with creating a giant tag for this one. So I'm just cutting out the excess paper. Okay, so we're going to be using those 2, definitely. I'll pop those to one side because we can pick up on using the others later on. So let's get some glue. Oh gosh, this doesn't want to play, does it? Because I haven't used this glue in a long time. So I hope you guys are well. It is coming towards the end of this summer. It probably will be by the time I pop this up. And you know, we had some really nice weather in the UK. Today is absolutely beautiful. So today I've got the back window open because it's just crazy, crazy hot. I did have a fan on, but then everything blew everywhere. So it's a bank holiday, so I am just enjoying the last of summer. I'm not going to the end of this because the glue will spread, but also because I'm going to be cutting off these. Okay, now the one thing I will be doing with these is just grab some stencils. I'm doing my mixed media stencils. I quite like that one. Although I don't know if that's going to be big enough. So let's go back to that one there. The stencil I'm using is from the Tim Holtz stencils, and it is oops! Oh gosh, that's the whole thing falling there. Sorry, I do apologise. Well, that would have been interesting. That was the whole of my camera unit falling. So yeah, the stencil I'm using is Tim Holtz, which is THS 084, I believe, from what I can see. And I'm also going to be using, if I can find my spatula, some texture paste, translucent texture paste. Oh gosh, that was hard going. So all I'm going to do, use a little bit of this, and I'm going to cover, we'll start with this one actually, and I'm going to just cover my tag. Now on this, I'm going to cover the whole tag. Or most of it. But with this one over here, I'm just going to cover the outsides, just around the edging. This texture paste I used for the Fantastic Follies collaboration, and I have got to say it is fast becoming one of my favourite products. So I am just going to let that dry, and while I do, I'm just going to go and wash these quickly. So we're all dry, and I don't know how much of the, there you go, you can start to see that. Just checking this is on the right setting, which it wasn't. The last time I did it on that, it just wouldn't pick up any, so there you can see the glitter. So I've pulled out a couple of bits and pieces again from the freebie pages, and I am going to, I've cut them out, I've inked them just to save a little bit of time, and I'm going to create with them. So I'm going to pop that on there, like that. Now this one here, I'm going to come in a bit actually, this one here I've put some eyelets in where the holes were. And I did try some brads in these, but it just looked a bit silly. Okay, so this is going to be our centerpiece. So I just want to make sure that whatever I'm putting on is going to be suitable. I'm going to pop this one. I'm going to have this one here. Like that. And then I'm going to pop this one on. Like that. And then I'm going to pop another one here, I think. So that'll go there. And I'll pop that one there, I think. Okay, so that will go on there like this. So I'm going to pop this over here. This is just the clothes horse thingy bob. Now with the butterfly, I want the butterfly to go on the top tag. And just hang over that a little bit. So I want that to go there for two reasons. One, because it looks really cool, and two, because the texture paste merged in with the ink, which I wasn't overly impressed with. I guess it depends what paper you print it on and what printer you use. So I'm just popping some little bits on here now to embellish it a little bit. That one there is just a button. And then I'm going to have this up here. As a tab. So that is going to go on there like that. Just didn't have that quite straight. So that's the smaller piece with the butterfly on top, a little buttons, tag, ticket, snippet, whatever you want to call them. Okay, I have got a couple of these that I pulled out that might go with the colour in, just to take away some of the bareness of the bottom. And these again are just Tim Holtz snippets that I've pulled out. The colourings just match with the kit that I've used. So that'll be there. And I think I want something up there. Sorry, that song's been in my head all day. Okay, so before I do anything else, I'm going to put a hole in here, just a little hole there. I want to pop a little paper clip on top there. Why? I don't know, just because I've got a little dangle on a ball clip there that I'm going to add. Just to add a little bit of bling, maybe. And then we're going to pop this on. Now the $1 million question for me was whether I tried to raise it at all. So it sat a little bit on top. Now the only issue with that was I don't have anything to use. I don't have anything to use. Let me have a quick look. So the only thing I can use is I've got a little bit of cardboard here which is quite thick. So that might work if I cut a piece. To go down the centre like that. So let's glue that on. That's fine. I'm only going over this because the cardboard seems to be soaking up the glue. So let's pop that on there like that. And then just any final bits that I want to add on, not that I need to because it's quite busy. But busy can be good. Just one last one there. And that's it. So we didn't use those two, but we did use, and I think I'm gonna just add a little bit of glue under there to keep that down, and a little bit under there to keep that down. So even though it's raised, I don't want it sticking all over the place. Or maybe I do, just so it's a bit of a whopper for a tag, as tags go. It's humongous, but I absolutely love it. How cool is that? There is so many different layers and textures and goodness knows what. You could have added lace. I did think about adding lace, but no, I didn't want to in the end. So that, I absolutely love how that's turned out. Now, I've created it as a tag, but it's, as I said, humongous. So I might even use it. I'm going to do a mini journal with this kit. And I've put this on the back. And I could even, if I wanted to, have this as the front cover for my journal. And that would look absolutely awesome. That would look so, so cool. Yeah, I love that. So even though I've done it as a tag, I will probably use it as a journal cover. Yeah, very, very cool. Love it. I do. I really love it. And I think all of this was made using the freebies, other than the snippets, obviously, that I added. But the rest, I believe, was made using... No, I'm just... leave alone. That was made using the freebies. So, yeah, absolutely humongous tag. But I really do love that. I can't stop looking at that. I love it. So there we go. Tag, journal cover, pocket, text spot, whatever you want. If I was using a bigger journal, that would sit inside a journal quite well. Although it is raised slightly, it's not too, the profile isn't too big. You can see there, it's only raised a little bit. So there we go. I think definitely I'm going to use that as my journal cover. So that is project 2, week 2. Last week we did the button style tag, which again could be used. I could pop that in there, it'd probably fit. And our beautiful new, what was the prompt? It was a spool. It was a spool-shaped tag. So there we go. Love it. Love, 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 love it. I'm going to leave it there because otherwise I'll just bore you with all the love it's. And I'll catch you in the next video. Until then, as always, stay safe, be well. Bye for now.